Hey everyone, I'm Dan and welcome back to my channel. Over the past few weeks, you watched me design and evolve my starters for my own region, which is inspired by the Jurassic movie franchise. Needless to say, but I'll say it anyway. It was really fun and really a learning experience to both my drawing and my editing skills. Oh, and also my talking skills. Anyway, we're actually here now to talk about my three starters and how they tie in with each other. As most of us know, the starters of each generation has a unifying theme to them. Gen 9 starters represents festivals around the world. Meowscarada represents masquerades, Skeledirge for Dia de los Muertos, and Quaquaval for carnivals. Gen 8 starters represents British cultures and entertainment, specifically music, sports, and movies. The internet says that Gen 7 starters each represents archetypes of circus performers. But for me, the better way to say it is each represent a professional that is good at their craft or discipline. Like the CDY represents someone who is good at their marksmanship, Incineroar for their showmanship, and Primarina for the artistry. Gen 6 represents your classic RPG classes. Chestnut represents tank, Delphox represents your caster, and Greninja represents the striker. Gen 5 starters represents imperial cultures or historical empires. Superior represents aristocracy or nobility. Embor represents military, while Samurott represents shogunate. Gen 4 represents mythologies around the world. Torterra for the World 3, Infernape for Sun Wukong, and Empoleon for Poseidon. Gen 4 starters are based on animals that has some adaptations. Sceptile is based on a gecko that has adapted to look like a leaf. Blaziken is based on the Shamo chicken that has adapted to its upright posture, while Swampert is based on a mud skipper that has adapted to breathe on land. The internet says that the Gen 2 starters are based on ancient animals. Though, at least for me, I think the unifying theme here might be as simple as natural growth. For Gen 1 starters, they are supposedly based on animals you can find on your backyard. Venusaur represents frog, Charizard represents lizard, and Blastoise represents turtle. But what are the chances of seeing these animals if you're living in a city? Though we have a frog on our backyard. So I think a better unifying theme would be reptiles that can also be pets. For my starters, they obviously mirror the Gen 1 starters, and their final evolutions are of course based on some dinosaurs that you will see on the Jurassic movie franchise, namely Dilophosaurus, Velociraptor, and Ankylosaur. Now, we can call it a day and say that is our unifying theme. But since this is Jurassic movie franchise inspired, I think that is already a given. So, here is another unifying theme. Energy conversion. Each starter represents an example of an energy converter. A solar panel tower, a combustion engine, and a catapult. Another unifying theme is described on their Pokédex entries. Each entry describes actuation. Actuation is an engineering term referring to the electrical, mechanical, or hydraulic process of initiating motion or controlling a system, meaning how a machine is moved, which is fitting considering these starters are genetically engineered. Cetophos represents electrostatics, which involves ionization. Velociraptor represents pneumatics, which involves combustion. And Ankylopult represents hydraulics, which involves pressure. Here are additional visuals for each starter. Just pause the video anytime you want. And for our last unifying theme, I hope you will like this one. Each of the tails is actually designed with a purpose. Notice how Cetopus tail fans out, why Velociraptor's tail is drawn as such, or why I did not add spikes to Ankylopult's tail. That is simply because each tail is meant to represent your basic rock, paper, scissors. So, what do you think of my unifying theme? Did this explanation video give justice to all my designs? Or was it still lacking? Again, feel free to comment your suggestions or your criticisms. All are welcome here. And if you are new to this channel, I will be putting the links of the other videos on the description box so you can go and check it out. And until then, bye!